Hey, how's everyone doing? My name's Alex and this is Craft Mindset. Today we're going to be talking about some ways that you can get to know yourself better. The tools I'll be sharing today are some tools that you can use for self-reflection to help build awareness. And remember, knowledge is power. Getting to know yourself better, your thoughts, your behaviors, your reactions can help you better understand yourself and to help you better accept yourself. The tools I'll be sharing today are some of my favorites and some fun ways to get to know yourself better. The first tool for self-reflection that I want to talk about today is journaling. Journaling can be great whether you choose to write down your thoughts and feelings every day, or if you just choose to use prompts to get to know yourself better. Both can be really great. So if you write out your thoughts and feelings every day, you can get to know patterns in your behaviors, in your thoughts, things that are important to you, things that bother you, and it can help you kind of start to track these things. On the other hand, if you choose to use prompts, these can help you just get to know yourself better, get to know what's important to you, what things you care about, maybe things that you want to practice more that you haven't been practicing as much. But either one that you choose, whether you choose to write out your thoughts or you choose to use prompts, make sure that you do it regularly. That way you can start to build an awareness of yourself. Some ideas for questions you might want to ask yourself when you're journaling are: when do you feel most like yourself? What stops you from feeling most like yourself in other situations? What are your skills or interests? How often do you follow these skills or interests? What are 5 things that are really important to you? What are 2 things that would be really hard for you to lose? What are some things you like or dislike about yourself? In what ways are you the person that you want to be? What qualities or skills do you need to work on to become the person that you want to be? And what do you do that makes you feel proud? So those are some ideas of some questions that you can start with to build your journaling practice. The next tool for self-reflection that I want to talk about is meditation. I am a huge fan of meditation. I think it is a great way to get to know yourself better and also can help improve your everyday life. I think meditation still has a bad stigma around it. People think it's just for hippies or for weirdos, but it definitely isn't. And it is gaining popularity. If you can overcome the stigma, I think it is worthwhile. The way that meditation works is that you are focusing on your breath, and at the same time, naturally thoughts are going to come up. And when those thoughts come up, it is about just observing them rather than engaging with them. And another way that's often used to describe meditation and engaging or just observing with these thoughts is to think about watching clouds passing by. An example of engaging with a thought would be something like this. I'm really hungry. What do I have in my fridge? You know, pizza and ice cream sounds like the perfect lunch today. That would be engaging with the thought versus just observing the thought, which would be, I'm really hungry. Oh, okay. And then going back to the breath. You can either meditate on your own or you can use guided meditations. There's a ton of free ones online. I use the Headspace app, and that's just because I like to have someone walk me through the meditation. It helps me focus a little bit better. The really cool thing about meditation is that it can help you get to know yourself better by observing what thoughts are regularly coming up and or what feelings are regularly coming up. But it also helps you to observe yourself in everyday life without judging yourself. It helps you to see like how you would react to something or how you might feel in certain moments. And I think that's really valuable to have that skill in your everyday life. It definitely makes it easier to get to know yourself better. The next tool for getting to know yourself is through therapy. And I know therapy isn't accessible or affordable for everyone, and it can be really challenging to find a good therapist. But if you are able to afford it and access it and able to find a good therapist, I know a lot of conditions, it is worthwhile. The thing about therapy you might wonder is, can I just talk to a friend? Wouldn't that be the same thing? And yeah, talking about stuff can help you process it. But the cool thing about a therapist is that a therapist can kind of walk you through the process of processing. And what I mean by that is that they can help you recognize when something is reoccurring, when it happens a lot, that you feel a certain way, or that you have certain challenges or certain ambitions, and they can help you to recognize that these are challenges that you're having where you might not recognize that on your own. Another great thing about therapy is that it helps you to acknowledge and accept your feelings, in the sense that therapists help to normalize the way you feel, that there is no wrong or right way to feel. And between each of these benefits, I think you can really get to know yourself better and learn to accept yourself. So I highly recommend therapy if you are able to access it. Another way you can get to know yourself better is by asking a friend. So make sure when you ask a friend, it's someone that you trust, that can be honest with you, and someone that you're not going to get mad at when they give you their honest answer. Your friends know so much about you, and they know what things are great about you, and they know what things can be challenging to deal with in regards to you. They know you really well, so they're a great source of feedback, especially if you have someone you can be honest with. A friend can help you get to know yourself better by giving you this feedback, by telling you what things about you inspire them, or what things about you are kind of annoying sometimes. Like maybe when you eat ice cream, you get really hyper and they don't really like that. Or maybe they think that's hilarious and want to go eat ice cream with you all the time. So a friend can be a really great resource for feedback. Just make sure that you don't get mad at them when you ask them for their feedback. If you're not feeling any of these forms of reflection, another way that can be really fun to get to know yourself is through personality tests. And yeah, they can be a little hokey. They're trying to place you into these teeny tiny categories that nobody really fits into perfectly, because personality is kind of more on a spectrum. But they can be fun. Most personality tests have a statement that you can agree or disagree with. And using these statements, you can get to know yourself better. So for example, a statement might say, I really love to go to parties. And you can think about, do I really like to go to parties? You know what? I don't really like to go to parties, and you'll disagree with it, but that can help you give you insight into yourself. Remember to focus just more on the statements and using those to get to know yourself better, not so much on the type. But you can also read through the personality type. It can be fun. You can get to know yourself a little more. Maybe there's statements that you really identify with and you say, yeah, that really is me. And you can use that knowledge to learn more about yourself rather than relying on just what the type is. Two popular personality tests today are the Meyers Briggs test and the Enneagram test. The Meyers Briggs places you into one of 16 categories using 4 different scales: introversion, extroversion, sensing, intuition, thinking, feeling, and judging or perceiving. And based off of those scales, whichever one you lean towards more is the letter that you'll get, and then it'll put together each of those scales into your type. The Enneagram, on the other hand, uses 9 different numbers to determine your type. Well, it doesn't use the 9 different numbers. It uses agree, disagree statements, and then it will pick a number based on these statements. And the numbers are all sort of interconnected, which is kind of cool. And there's also a variant. So, for example, the variant is known as a wing, and my Enneagram is for wing 5, which means that I'm mostly 4, but I do have some tendencies that lean towards a 5. And so it's kind of cool because it gives you more flexibility in your personality type. But like I said again, that part is more just for fun. 2 of the more scientific tests are the Big 5 personality test and the character strengths test. The Big 5 was designed by taking words that people use to describe personality and using those words to create 5 different scales. So those are extroversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, negative emotionality, and openness to experience. And rather than being placed into a category with this test, you are placed somewhere on the spectrum so you can see which ways you lean towards more. So maybe you're more extroverted, or maybe you're more negative. So it'll use each of those scales to give you an idea of where you are placed on the spectrum, which makes more sense because personality does tend to be more of a spectrum. The other test I want to talk about is the character strength test. And I think this one's really cool because it's not really a personality test so much as learning about your character strengths. And these strengths can be used in different ways, and they can help bring more joy to your life once you learn about them. Again, it is a statements with agree or disagree, but it's a little different because it gives you each of your strengths from top to bottom. It will rank you on 24 of them. Your top ones you want to look at, and you can use those to learn how you can use those more in your everyday life to enjoy your life a little bit more, because these are things that you are good at and that you love to do. Once you get your character strengths, you can click into one of them. So one of mine is love of learning, and I can click into that on the website, and it'll give me some ideas to reflect more deeply about this strength. So maybe what are things that I like to learn about, or questions like that. And then on the other hand, it will give me ideas for ways that I can use this skill. So it will tell me to read a book every month, like a nonfiction book every month, and that can help me to learn more and to use the skill more, which can be really beneficial in getting to know myself better. Or maybe there's strengths that I am not as strong at and I want to build those, and I can use this website also to reflect on those and get more ideas of how I can practice them. Regardless of how you choose to reflect, I think taking some time out of your day or out of your week can really be beneficial to building this relationship with yourself and to get to know yourself better, help you learn more about yourself, and ultimately learn to accept yourself. Which of these tools for self-reflection are you excited to try, and which ones do you use that maybe I didn't mention? Leave a comment down below. I'm really excited to hear more and hopefully learn from you guys. Do you use any of these already? I can't wait to hear from you. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.